Okay. Good day, everyone. So this is our group for the Lasallian podcast, consisting of me, Red Sac, Montilla, Andrei Dela Cruz, Jeio Rivera, Macaspac, Ezra Bragat, and Don C. And today we're gonna address the issue we all are connected with, which is living with COVID-19, which is the title of our podcast. So let's start off by introducing each other. Matty, why don't you start off?
Hi, I'm Matty Montilla. My nickname is Matty. My age is 18. A fun fact about me is that I play the guitar.
Okay, nice. Andrei.
Hello, I am Raymond Andrei de la Cruz. You can call me Andrei. I am 18 years old. Quick fun fact about me is that I love traveling in different countries and I also love watching anime all day.
Very nice. Ezra.
Hi, I'm Nehemiah Ezra Bragat. I'm 19 years old, and fun fact about me is I love playing basketball.
Very nice. And next up is si Macaspac, si Peter.
Hello, my name is Peter Gabriel Mercado Maspak. I'm 18 years old, and same as Ezra, I like to play basketball, and I also love watching anime.
Alright. So lastly, ako. My name is Red Florence Sac, but you can call me Red. I'm currently 18 years old. And fun fact about me is that I like collecting vintage teas. So yeah, seems that we're all acquainted with each other now. So a brief overview about our topic. Since our podcast is once again is titled Living with COVID-19, we'll be talking about the great effects of the pandemic to our lives and how LS1 has impacted our times under the pandemic and how, what taught us to push through and strengthen our faith in our everyday lives. So first off, kamusta kayong lahat? How's life under pandemic?
Okay naman.
Okay naman din. Still adjusting pa din.
Still adjusting pa rin.
Are there any challenges you
Adjust.
guys would like to share na naranasan nyo during this pandemic?
Siguro ako yung bawal lumabas. Yung gano'n. Lagi lang nasa
Yeah,
bahay.
yung lockdown. Mm.
Um, During the pandemic, the greatest challenge for me was the time I was infected by the virus. Like
Mm.
everyone at the time, I had to stay at home without seeing anyone for 14 days straight. It was hard for me because I actually get bored easily. I lost
Mm.
during the pandemic. During the yung nagka-quarantine ako, I lost my sense of taste and smell. And parang napupuno na lang ako to the point na nagkaka-anxiety na lang ako. That's the most difficult
Yeah.
challenge I had to face during the pandemic.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, it seems very difficult na lalo na sa mga naapektuhan ng COVID. Kasi ako din personally, naapektuhan din ako this year lang. So, yeah, parang isang week akong parang bedridden in a way. I was really sick. And that time pa is yung enrollment for DLSE. So, hindi ako nakapunta. Pinapunta ko na lang yung guardian ko in a way. So, yeah, I guess that was my biggest challenge as well since I thought I was safe na eh kasi around 2 years na during the pandemic parang hindi ako naapektuhan. Then biglang, yun, nabigla ako. So, I guess yung being sick and yung being not able to do anything because you have to heal and you have to be better. So yeah, that's what I can share about my challenges. Baka may ma-share pa kayo guys.
Si Mati kaya, ano kaya share ni
I
Mati?
think I think
Mm.
for me, a challenge is the frequent use of social media ever since nung lockdown kasi we couldn't go out of our houses. I think we all naman experienced this, di ba?
Yeah.
Mas na addicted tayo sa social media, the use of
Tama, tama.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, mga ganun.
Oo.
I think that's a challenge we all faced during the pandemic.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Jeyo? You want to share with us any challenges you experienced during the pandemic?
Hi. Yeah, sorry for joining late. I think some of the challenges I face is just what everyone's doing. It's the whole, you're happy, right? That there's no
Yeah.
school because I'm pretty sure most of us experience quarantine just like as school ended, right? Pretty sure most of you. But like, it's a challenge. Like maybe a year in or two. It's just the isolation. It's weird. It's like you don't get to see your friends like in person for a while. You're stuck with your family most of the time, and while I'm sure if you have a good relationship with your family, it's all fine and dandy. But if eventually, even some small pet peeves will boil over, and it gets a little tough trying to talk with people you've been living with for like straight a year, right? They know exactly what you're doing every day, all the time, and it's a little I don't know. It's like privacy's out the window now.
Yeah,
True,
I
true.
agree. It's a drastic lifestyle change.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, being restricted to our own home, I guess, not being able to go outside would really, mess up our mental, I guess. So moving on, how did you guys like adjust with the pandemic, like getting used to staying at home, not being able to go out, and such as online schooling and stuff. So how were you able to adjust with it? What did you do to be accustomed to this new change, to this new normal? Okay, I'll start off na lang. Siguro adjusting. Anyways, parang may silver lining naman siguro from what the pandemic has caused us. Being closer with the family and being there with them this whole time. Though sometimes medyo nakakasawa nga since sila nakikita mo araw-araw. But I guess pinaka-adjustment ko to cope up with the pandemic and given the restrictions we have is probably sure keeping myself occupied and being able to communicate with my friends even though di ko sila nakikita physically. May it be like online, such as resurgence ng Discord, like be able to call with them. Kahit online classes, being able to see them through the screens, being able to still learn with them in the confines of the school, I guess it's very great for, I guess, our mental to keep us sane. So yeah, that's how I adjusted during the pandemic. Uh, you guys can share if you have some adjustments.
Para sa akin naman,
Siguro,
I adjusted with the new normal like everyone else. Maganda din
Yeah.
naman na hindi ako agad nabigla na nag-online class muna tayo for safety precautions. Yung sports na wala din, temporarily stopped. But the good thing about it is you aren't adjusting to the new normal alone. The whole world is actually adjusting with you. That's why I didn't felt behind while adjusting during the pandemic.
That's nice. Peter, I think you're trying to say something kanina.
Siguro yung sa akin tulad nung sinabi mo nga, nililibang ko yung sarili ko. Example, yung nag-start ako mag-workout. Pero as time goes by, tinamad rin. So, yun lang rin. Naghahanap ako ng mga bagong hobbies.
Yeah, gets din. I guess same din with me. Siguro keeping myself occupied with things to do para di masyadong bored sa bahay since doon lang naman tayo the whole time. Yeah, gets. Anyone else who would like to share?
for me personally, like what you said, Brad, like I had to find different things to do to keep me occupied. Like what I said earlier, mas heavy na yung use ko of social media. I had to
Yeah.
find like different activities to do to pass the time.
Mhm. Okay, I guess that's pretty uniform for all of us. Siguro, no? Like
Yeah,
to pass
I
time to
think
keep
so.
ourselves occupied.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all for the sharing sa kamustahan. So let's move on to what we are connecting this issue with to address this issue is what we have learned from this subject of Lasallian Studies 1. So maybe may ma-share kayo guys na notable lessons that you would like to share to us na I guess that impacted you in a way that changed your outlook in life, which made you better as an individual. So lalo na with our topic, with our shared issue of living with COVID-19. So yeah, I'll start off then. Siguro the biggest lesson I've learned from the science studies was I guess the importance of faith and how it how it could make us better as individuals and how it could help us go through and and overcome our obstacles and certain problems that we face in our everyday lives. So I guess having this definition of faith and being able to learn more about it, lalo na from Sir, and giving importance to it and giving awareness to how we could strengthen our faith and connect with the Lord, be closer to the Lord. I guess it's really important, lalo na this pandemic. There's a lot of people getting sick, a lot of people that they're getting affected by the COVID-19 in general. I guess faith is a big part of how we could overcome uh these problems and these issues. I find that with faith we could overcome anything in a way. So yeah, you guys maybe would like to share anything about that you have learned from the silent studies.
Ako yung sa tinuro ni Sir sa 12 virtues of a Lasallian leader. So, tulad nga ngayong pandemic, ah yung sa virtue na reserve, yung being calm during times of stress, in-apply ko yun sa sarili ko para di ko para makapag-isip rin ng solutions on how to cope up with the pandemic. Yun lang.
Sa akin naman,
Anyone else?
learning the different values of being a Lasallian was pinaka-notable sa akin yun. It always reminded me na being kind, humble, showing love, not hate will always lead you to a peaceful mind and environment.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone else would like to share?
I think like just as an overall thing, I think the Lasallian study is really. I'm not too sure. It's like it didn't really impact specifically. It's more of just an overall thing. It
Oh.
sort of upped my mood, I guess. I don't know. It's like learning like how to be a model Lasallian, especially like after senior high, they teach that also. It it honed it really hit home, I guess, the
I
values
agree.
and the teachings, and then when you start applying it, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. I find that like with every lesson that Sir have taught us in the social studies and talaga, it's really things that would contribute to us to becoming like better individuals in general. Being a Lasallian gentlemen, gentlewomen. So I find that these values are very important, lalo na in this day and age, given the circumstances that we are in. I think these lessons were very vital in our development as individuals. So before we wrap up, uh, given the lessons that we have learned in the Lasallian studies, how do you think it has been helpful or impactful in the way we live right now under the pandemic? So paano to nakatulong sa kasi adjusting and if ever nagkaroon kayo ng naapektuhan kayo ng COVID, how it helped you overcome these challenges in a way?
Um, the challenge I faced during the pandemic were solved by remembering the values I learned being a Lasallian. And from the hardships I learned sa buhay ko, the the lessons I learned made me calm. An example is being patient for 14 days. It helped me overcome it and I thought of it in a different perspective.
That's good. Anyone else would like to share? Okay.
I guess for me, learning about the life of Saint Lasal, it taught me how I can, or we can try to mimic or embody the values of a Lasallian, and it strengthened my faith in God.
Mm. That's true, no? Ako rin actually the same
Yeah.
thing. Seeing how the Lasalas live, I think with the challenges he has overcame, multiple challenges he overcame, the constant values that he upholds during it is really enlightening. It's very insightful, very inspiring to do planning as us as Lasallians. So I find that mimicking, yeah, just like what you said, like mimicking and I guess having Lasal as a role model to us, this pandemic has really helped me, overcome the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, to wrap up our discussion, our podcast, I would like to thank everyone that has shared. So all in all, living with COVID-19 and being able to study the science studies along the way, what do you find to be what advice or what suggestions would you leave the audiences as as they live in the current pandemic state of the world, of our country? So any advices you guys would like to share living with COVID-19? See, I'll start off na siguro nga, one advice I could share to the audiences would be, I guess, putting your full faith to God and trusting Him that everything will be fine, everything will be all right. When you put the faith on Him and knowing that through His guidance, we'll be able to overcome the challenges you may experience. May it be you were affected by the COVID-19 virus, or it be someone you know that has been affected by it, by the pandemic. I find that the faith, uh, having strong faith during these trying times is vital in being able to overcome any obstacles that may come our way. So, and if you guys would like to share any advice you would like to give to the audience living with
Uh,
COVID-19.
yeah, I think I have some advice. It's just
Okay.
don't be afraid to seek out people. Like it like just anyone doesn't have to be like people like people who you're already living with. Just don't be afraid to seek out people because like there will always be people, right? Say for example you live with your family in your household, right? That you can always talk with them, but sometimes like we mentioned earlier, you're gonna get sawa. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to seek help outside of family or the people you're living with. Just never hesitate to seek out help because some people are worried about you, and if they're worried, then you're worried, and etc etc. It spirals, and it's very very unhealthy, and you should always as humans, we are social creatures, right, we thrive upon doing things like talking with people, helping people's problems, etc. We thrive on each other. We don't There's rarely people who thrive by themselves. There's always someone else involved. So don't ever be afraid to seek out people if you do need the help or the support.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
So like, yeah, yun nga. Like what like Jeio said, being able to reach out with someone is very important, lalo na when we're going through hardships talaga. Knowing that someone is there for you will really change your whole outlook in the way you view these challenges. So yeah, great stuff.
Yep,
Peter,
it can even help with your mental health,
well-being. Yeah.
mental well-being.
Peter, would you like to share anything?
Advice, di ba?
Yeah, advice.
Siguro yung advice ko lang based on experience, yung spend more time with your family. Kasi yun nga, sobrang lakas ng epekto ng pag nadapuan ka ng COVID-19. So, yun. Madami rin kaming family members na yun, nawala na rin dahil sa virus na yun. So, yun, sulitin niyo rin lahat ng moments with them.
That's very important. Ezra, baka you would like to share anything or like advice you would like to give the audience?
Like sabi ni Peter, keep in touch with our loved ones. Kasi like hindi na natin alam pag natamaan na sila ng COVID, hindi natin alam kung kaya pa nila survive din. And yun.
Alright. Then I guess that's all. No, nakapag-share naman ng advice. So to wrap things up, we hope you guys have enjoyed our podcast, Living with COVID-19, with the participants Florence Sac, Montilla, Andrei Dela Cruz, Jeio Rivera, Peter Macaspac, Ezra Bragat, and Don C. We hope you guys have learned insightful knowledge with living with COVID-19 and how the sudden studies has affected us in our lives and the way we live this day in our daily life. We hope you guys continue to be faithful, continue to be Lasallian examples to everybody, and we hope you have enjoyed our podcast. That is all. Thank you.